to our next technical session. And to chair our next technical session, I would like to request Dr. Nasreen Sultana from Stark Agriculture Center to lead this session and take the seat of the chairman. And I'll also like to request Dr. Prakash Asare, Dhanbadu Thapa, and Srijana Nupani to take the responsibility of the rapporteur. Okay, I would like to request Smriti Kala Panta, Dr. Smriti Kala Panta to take the responsibility of the rapporteur for this session. I will request Dr. Nasreen Sultana to lead this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Ranjana. I would like to draw your kind attention. Please be seated. We have passed a very exciting session, that is the brainstorming and collecting of information. It was exciting, definitely exciting. So now please be seated, and now we are going to start our next session. We already 25 minutes late. So now with the permission of these committee member or participants, now I would like to start our session, second session, and this is thematic group 4, 5, and 6. This session should is supposed to start 15:40 to 16:25. In this session, 3 presenters. They will present current status, opportunities, constraints, and way forward for the sustainable growth of the vegetable sector in South and Southeast Asia. Dr. Ferdouse Islam, BA, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, Bangladesh, will present the first paper. The second one, current status, prospects, and way forward for the promotion of vegetable seed production and fruit sapling in South and Southeast Asia. This paper will present by Dr. Narayan, Khanal, CIMMMYT, Nepal, and the third paper on insect, pest, and disease management practices on fruits and vegetables in South and Southeast Asia. This paper will present by Dr. Sundar Tiwari, University of Agriculture and Forestry in Nepal. And this session will be 3 people will act as the rapporteur: Dr. Prakash Acharya, Mr. Dhan Thapa, and Ms. Srijana Nupani. And these 3 rapporteurs will be take care of the feedback and collection and discussion. So as we are shortage in time, I would like to request and invite Dr. Ferdouse Islam to present her paper. Your time is 15 minutes. Please try to limit your time because we are behind. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Welcome to all in my presentation. Next slide. It's working. You can maintain from there, no problem. Honorable Session Chair and dear audience, good afternoon. I myself, Dr. Ferdouse Islam, my working area is horticulture, and my discussion, my topics, current status, opportunities, constraint and way forward for the sustainable growth of the vegetable sector in Bangladesh especially my talking area is Bangladesh. Next. Next. Okay, before going the main presentation, I would like to introduce you a little bit in our country about Bangladesh. We became recognized as recognized in 16 December 1971, and our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. This is our Bangladesh, and this is the flag of Bangladesh. Next. Next. She is our Honorable Prime Minister, Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina. Our Prime Minister always special thrust and priority on agriculture, and she noted whatever is needed for security will have to be done, and no land should be kept uncultivated. Food production system will have to continue, and a diverse variety of crop will have to be produced, and farmers will continue cultivation. Government initiative will go on. This is her information for agriculture sector. Next. So her target as a Bangladesh, an upper middle income country by 2031 and high income country by 2014. This is our target. Topography of Bangladesh. Actually, Bangladesh tropical and subtropical region. This diversity of fruit, vegetable, other crop, small farming mostly is present. Agriculture is a basic support for livelihood, and agriculture is the way of life. Next. Characteristics of agriculture in Bangladesh. Our cropping intensity on 94%, moving from subsistences to commercial farming, transition from non-mechanized to mechanized farming, and fragmented land are homestead-based agriculture mostly. Now, significance of vegetable for sustainable growth. If we consider vegetable is a nutritionally, because it's contain vitamin, mineral, fiber, and even carbohydrate. And if we consider vitamin, vegetable is as a clinically prevent communicable and non-communicable disease. And financially, vegetable increase GDP and employment. Finally, commercially increase export and earn foreign currency. Next. We know vegetable contain big amount of vitamins, different micronutrients. If we categorize vegetable in different micronutrient minerals, this first row, these are the contain potassium. These are the potassium content vegetables, and the next calcium content vegetable, cabbage, cucumber, magnesium content vitamin, iron content vitamin. These are the and zinc content vitamin, broccoli, capsicum, mushroom, asparagus, etc. We know color vegetable has a effect on health. Summer color vegetables are here. Vitamin content vegetable, these are the sweet gourd, broccoli, leafy vegetable, vitamin C content vegetable, vitamin B content vegetable, green pea, squash, vitamin B9, folate acid content vitamin, lettuce, broccoli, spinach. These are the categories on the basis of their vitamin containing vitamin D vegetable, lycopene containing vitamin vegetable, tomato, capsicum, vitamin K, and xanthocyanin. Yes, next. So the current status of vegetable production in Bangladesh. Our production, our area, almost 0.41 million hectare, and production 4.03 metric ton. Our consumption 166 gram per day per person, but our recommendation is 160 our recommendation is 300 gram per day per person, where 100 gram leafy vegetable and others 20 gram. So we need to produce 16.77 metric ton production we need to produce. So our present position only 4.03 metric ton is far behind. So need to increase at least four folds. Bangladesh nowadays, Bangladesh are doing research on more than 100 types of vegetables. This is the production scenario last 10 years. If you see, at initial land increased linearly, but production increased sharply, and last year boosted up. The next. Actually, in Bangladesh, we have the main two seasons, that is winter and vegetable for winter and summer for vegetable growing. Winter occupy most of the vegetable, and here the land coverage, most of the vegetables land area coverage mainly bottle gourd and tomato brinjal, and vegetable production also high in brinjal, tomato, and cabbage, cauliflower in winter season. Next. In summer, mainly keeper vegetable occupied most of the area, and the and production also high in keeper vegetable in summer season. That is pointed gourd, reed gourd, snake gourd, thistle gourd. These are the keeper vegetable that occupied most of the area in summer. Next. Though vegetable grow in vegetable in Bangladesh, all parts of vegetable grow properly, nicely, but some area concentrated for some special vegetable due to favorable ecosystem and favorable ecological condition and better marketing facilities. Some vegetable occupies some area and produce concentratedly high. That is example of brinjal is concentrated high production in Mymensingh, Chittagong, in Jashore area. And if you see the pointed gourd, Kustia, Jashore, their production is high. And cauliflower, Tangail, Kumilla are this side. This is the scenario of current concentrated vegetable all over the Bangladesh. Opportunities for sustainable growth of vegetables. The main opportunity is exporting. Now Bangladesh is going to export vegetable, and in last 10 years, if we see, look the graph, last 10 years, though initially export was low, just traditionally was started, then in mid-time export was high, scenario was high, then decline due to some phytosanitary issues, then again trend is increasing. Next. So to increase vegetable export, need to step use gap protocol, improve grading, packaging, and post-harvest systems, and arranging refrigerator van and transportation. Due to vegetable are very perishable item, within very short time they lose their freshness. And issues of phytosanitary certificate need to maintain, and it should be on online. Pre-export conversation studies need to study, and to ensure adequate air space and reduce fair cost for transportation of vegetable, and increase diplomatic activity in expanding vegetable export. Then crop genic is important to increase the vegetable production, and contract farming system is helpful for exporting. Next. Next. Now, constraint of vegetable production in Bangladesh, mainly we consider in 3 types of constraint: on biotic, abiotic, and socio-economic condition. Under biotic condition, variety insect disease pest is main constraint, and abiotic condition, temperature, waterlogged, salinity, drought, and flood is main constraint. And in socioeconomic aspect, marketing and slow technology transfer is another constraint. And quality seed, technology, post-harvest loss is another constraint. In Bangladesh aspect, 0.88 million hectares saline prone, 5 million hectare flat prone, 0.8 million hectare barren tract, and virus, bacteria, fungus mites are the main problem. Climate change is also a challenge. Climate change impact on increasing temperature, sea level rise, yield loss, and natural human disaster, flood, cyclone, drought, riverbank erosion, thunderstorm is another problem. Next. So the program area of vegetable research in Bangladesh mainly mainly research area is varietal development, both OP and hybrid, production package development, off-season production and protective culture is another production area, safe organic nutrient-dense vegetable production research is another part, seed production technology is an important area, physiological aspect, insect pest disease, and soil and water management is another area. Post-harvest area is important because our production is almost good and high. We need to post-harvest need to post-harvest research on this. Handling, processing, and value addition need to improve, and then existing one. And socioeconomic studies research is needed to impact the study, and technology to increase the technology transfer procedure.
You only have 3 minutes more.
Okay. Some time lost for the next. Yes. Hybrid. Recently, I came from research organization, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute. BARI is a multi-crop research, largest research institute. BARI developed already 27 important hybrid varieties. These are the pictorial view of the developed hybrid varieties. Next. So the challenges in aspect of biotic stress, improved variety insect disease is the main challenge. Abiotic stress, temperature, salt, drought, waterlogged, unpredicted heavy rainfall, and flood and cyclone effect. Seasonality is another problem challenge. Improved varieties is the main challenge. Quality seed is important. Improved production technology, post-harvest losses, marketing problem, and slow technology transfer all are the challenge. Absence of inadequate research bodies on food safety, especially on vegetables, inadequate production and marketing information compliance to small holding farmers, and inadequate processing post-harvest lot, and skill manpower is another challenge. Formulation of dynamic trade policy of member countries is important challenge. Inadequate research and development activities to exploit the value-added technology, and lack of gap policy, standard gap and accreditation and certificate system is poor. It need to be, it is also a challenge. And lack of independent authority for implementing gap is another challenge. So way forward, quality hybrid development is an important task for us right now. Biotic and abiotic stress tolerant variety development is an important task. Use of modern agriculture and biotechnology to develop improved varieties and technology. Maintains breeding of vegetable varieties and inbreed of hybrids. Protective production for off-season year-round high-value vegetable production is another area. Development of nutrient-dense vegetable for good health. Safe and organic production technology need to attention on this aspect. Model-based quality vegetable production, that is hydroponic, rooftop gardening, and home gardening, floating agriculture is the thrust area. Post-harvest technology and value addition is one of the important area right now, and quality seed production package is an important area. Next. I want to take only 2 minutes. Just I want to show the pictorial view of our some important vegetable variety. This is the tomato variety. Is just pass the slide. These are the tomato variety, though all those developed by Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute. Past. Just these all are hybrid variety. These all are hybrid variety and summer variety. Mostly in our country, tomato growing season is winter, but now right now we are producing tomato in summer. These are the eggplant varieties. Just capsicum varieties. We have two, one red and yellow. Cauliflower varieties, one is summer, and broccoli varieties reddish. Let's go. Bottle gourd and sponge gourd, sweet gourd. Some hybrid are good hybrid of sweet gourd, bitter gourd, year-round variety of bitter gourd we have. Chinga, and this is, and we have two OP watermelon variety. One is orange and one is yellow color. Hyacinth bean variety. These are bold-seated hyacinth variety. These are the year-long bean, dwarf size year-long bean, and moringa varieties, year-round moringa varieties, and leafy vegetables summer. Next.
Okay.
Thanks. This is all about my presentation. Okay. Thank you, everyone. If you have any question, I am here. You can ask me.
Thank you, Dr. Ferdouse Islam, for nicely presenting the status and the present situation and how to increase our vegetable production in Bangladesh. Really, I'm proud of you. Actually, it's very nice, in-depth presentation. And now I think from her presentation, our UC Davis or horticulture lab can get some insight information that Bangladesh is producing a lot of vegetable, but still we are behind. We need to increase our production fourfold to meet our current demand. And already she also mentioned that there are some niche area where vegetables are growing nicely. Some specific vegetable is concentrated in some area, so we can give emphasis on that area. And we have, like, Bangladesh has export potential. So for that, post-harvest technology and variety development of long post-harvest life, that also she mentioned that area could be a research area. And she mentioned that how to increase the current vegetable production, and several points like GAP, the good agriculture practice, phytosanitary certification, refrigerated van. So all this area, crop zoning, then location space, contact farming, all this could be future research to increase the fourfold need to increase the vegetable production. She mentioned biotic, abiotic, and socio-economic problem like marketing, slow adoption of technology, quality seed, post-harvest technology. I think from all her presentation, we could get in depth and how can we way forward to be self-sufficient in vegetable production. So I would request all of you a big hand to Dr. Ferdouse.
Thank you. You mentioned all the things very properly. Thank you very much to you.
You have presented very nicely. Okay, so thank you. Be seated, and I think like our previous session, there will be an brainstorming session. That session you will be there. So now I would like to request Dr. Narayan Khanal, CIMMMYT, Nepal, for presenting current status, prospect, and way forward for the promotion of vegetable seed production and fruit sapling in South and Southeast Asia. So like previous presenter, you have 15 minutes. After 12 minutes, we will give an warning. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson, for providing the opportunities. Good afternoon, the Chairperson of the sessions, ladies and gentlemen. I am Narayan Khanal, working in Nepal Senior Fertile Project as a business development manager. So most of the time, I am working with the private sectors, how they can motivate them, how understand their challenges, across the value chain, and testing new technology and approaches. So actually, this presentation is based on my experience on vegetable seed sector in the country. And I will also touch upon very, slightly about the sapling part. For that part, I have get very short information, but most of the things I'm talking about will be on vegetable seed part. So, yeah. Okay. So in this presentation, I already discussed about the major points. So the seed system in Nepal is basically integrated function. So normally, Nepali farmers get seed from informal and formal sectors, and from the formal sectors, we have the local production as well as import. So if you look at the total, in the holistic approach, the informal seed system, basically the farmers exchange of seed with the neighboring people, with the relatives, and also getting from India, because we have open border with India. That's why many farmers in Tarai region normally get seeds actually from relatives and going to India, the informal part, and also the local trading and local exchange. So 80% of the seed trade actually, farmers are getting through the informal way, and that is 20% seed supply from the formal systems. That system consists of Nepal Agricultural Research Council, government farms, private sectors, and also there's some private seed companies are coming up. So the seed distribution systems, basically you can see, though it's a very tight, slide, but you can simply see that the left side is basically about the seed production system, how the seed production system is happening in the country. NARC actually, Nepal Research Council, is responsible for the genetic resource management, breeding of variety, breeder seed production. Though recently, actually, the government of Nepal has given the license, R&D license for some companies. So now in the future, they will be able to produce their own product. So until now, all the genetic materials and source production is the responsibility of the government. This is the NARC. And after the basic production, some of the groups and cooperatives and company have get the license for the foundation seed production, improved seed production, and then seed go to the distribution channel with the agro dealers. And in the import part, you can see in the right hand side, basically there are some importers. Around 34 importers have issued license to import the seed in the country, and after actually getting seed, they will sell in the market through distribution channel. This is how the system works in the country, formal and informal system, and the formal system. This is the way. And then a key question. Next, please. Next, please. So in terms of seed production and marketing, yes, National Seed Vision envision the core mega seed companies, because mega seed company means they need to have their own R&D facilities, competent breeder, so that they can actually provide the high quality seed to the people. So National Seed Vision has actually mandated, but core seed companies have received the license very recently, and from the summit also actually we supported this company in terms of R&D, designing, testing, promotion, and and then this company have received recently the license, but none of them have developed their own varieties. So now until they have to develop with the government, again the challenge is that government don't have their sub-licensing scheme. Like there is a one hybrid called Sirjana. So that Sirjana is given to many companies and farmers group. There is a mix of variety in the market and very difficult to identify which is the pure one, because there is no sub-licensing scheme in the government. Next, please. So yeah, National Seed Vision actually, the National Seed Vision, actually is mentioned that Nepal by 2025, Nepal should be able to supply the seed in the country, and there is a provision, there is actually mandate of seed export. So by 2025, Nepal should actually export around 750 tons vegetable seed in the international market. That is actually projection of the seed vision. But until now, actually there is no export of vegetable in the country, and import figures don't include the unofficial imports. So next, please. Next. So the key challenge is limited variety of farmers prefer variety and hybrids, because now many importers, seed companies are looking at the high quality and suitable choice of the variety that is demanded by the farmers, but there is limited stock of variety in the government systems. As a result, they could not find the suitable germplasm to multiply in the country. That's a big challenge. Again, there is an issue with the supply of the source seed, foundation seed and bitter seed, of the demanded variety. This is another challenge, and the lack of licensing system of the national variety, because when the private sector are asking for, please provide the variety for 10 years or 5 years, we were able to take the risks and multiply and supply farmers, but there is a lack of the supply-licensing system. And the big challenge in the country is a limited trained human resource. There is a high turnover of the skillful trained human resource in the private sectors and also the government system. If you look at even the competent breeder and like vegetable, very limited people in the country. So this is the big concern for the country to enhance the competitiveness of the horticulture sector, even the seed sector. So, and no vegetable breeder with the private sectors. So now they are producing vegetable seeds with the support from public breeders and some from university people. So they don't have their own private because they were not able to pay that much resources, because they are very small, and then and they are also business volume also going up and down. Poor infrastructure and facilities such as cold chambers, and they are very limited. Actually, people have cold chambers, so if they cannot sell the seeds, it's very difficult to keep up for the remaining other years. And there is also poor investment in the sectors, because in the vegetable sectors, I see many of the companies are opening in the country with the objective of producing local seeds. At the end, they are converting to importers, right? So there are several kinds of risks in the country due to open border, and other challenges are the poor quality control mechanism, poor innovations in the value chain. So they are simply supplying seed based on the subsidy dynamics, whatever demand in the subsidy market they are supplying. Poor implementation of access to finance and insurance. These are the key actually area where the sectors can address the risks and motivate the investors, but there is a poor actually implementation mechanism and access to finance. The government has announced use subsidy on the actually to support the loan, 5% interest rate, 3% interest rate, but there is no clear guideline how to implement this strategy. Lack of seed zoning. Everyone is seed production everywhere, but it's very difficult to maintain the site. And in case of vegetable seed, there is a very less seed recovery ratio. It means many of the vegetable producing seeds are converted into fresh vegetable. If farmers get a higher price, then they will go for fresh vegetable in the market. So now, because there is a lack of seed zoning in the country, and there are poor policy awareness and slow innovations to put policy into actions. Next, please. And regarding opportunities, Nepal have a huge opportunity in terms of climatic, edaphic factors and employment generation, cheap labor force. So we have already know about these dynamics, and you can see we have the Ransford area where actually there is a big scope for the importing the foreign investment and focus on some temperate vegetables. So considering geography, climate, microclimate pockets. Next, please. And then, yes, government has actually envisioned that Nepal should be self-sufficient in the country, as well as will be able to produce the seed for export. So there is also, I'll explain about it. Next, please. And also there is a big actually area, for the project, maybe there is a kind of big area to learn within South Asian country. They can exchange of knowledge, germ plan, the fast track breeding system. They can exchange the material tested in the one country can be exchanged to other countries. We have some legal provisions. So, and then already we have already signed the agreement between the Seed Enterprise Association of Nepal and NSAI of India. Also, there is opportunities to make a kind of regional collaboration between the Association of Nepal and Bangladesh, so that these associations can learn each other and then develop their competency and then develop partnership. Next, please. And yes, obviously, as previous presenters mentioned, we have a huge diversity in the local land races. That land races could be actually in the breeding process and then multiply actually, and through different mechanisms. Next, please. And then Nepali company also actually graduating in the seed production system. They are learning the seed production process and then going forward on the attractive packaging and branding, and then trying to actually learn about seed market research system. And then also the government policy is highlighting for the seed production in the country, and federal policy, local government policy are focusing on the seed production these days. Next, please. And for the citrus sapling part, I've just drafted two slides for the citrus and apple. So there are very limited information and very limited actually these nurseries for the like citrus.
Please try to limit within 1
Next,
minute.
please. Yeah. And apple also, in case of in apple, there is high density planting and huge number of saplings are getting from outside. Even the local government also actually directly importing the saplings, and there is a big concern about the quality control, and even very difficult to on the which variety is real variety is very difficult for the monitoring part. Next, please. And then I would like to thank my organizers, for inviting me for this presentation, and additionally some of the colleagues and the US for this opportunity. I am very much thankful to participate in the conference, and thank you very much for listening, and I will be able to respond to the queries and contribute maybe this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dakhal, for presenting the seed system in Nepal. And from this presentation, what we knew that we have learned that the Nepal is still 80% seed is using informal seed, only 20% from the formal seed. That is huge gap. Informal seed, it's always the quality. You cannot tell that the quality is ensured. So we here there is a scope to work on seed production and private sector. Mr. Dakhal, he from private sector, and he pointed out that recently Nepal government had given license for the seed production from the private sector. So now I think a partnership can be developed by Nepal government and private sector for strengthen the seed system. National Seed Vision, government has targeted to variety development for hybrid and OP varieties. So here he mentioned that the manpower is very less in the private sector. So I think there is a scope to capacity development of private sector and even government sector for seed development, hybrid, especially hybrid seed development. I think from his presentation, we could learn that the present status and gap for the to fulfill the target of government in seed section. So I would request everyone to give an applause to him. And again, thank you for your nice presentation. Now I would like to request Ms. Dr. Sundar Tiwari from Agriculture and Forest University. He will speak on insect, pest, and disease management practices on fruits and vegetables in South and Southeast Asia. Please, Dr. Tiwari. You have 15 minutes, and after 12 minutes, there will be a ring. So please try to maintain your time.
Okay, thank you. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you very much for this chance. Today, I'm going to present insect pest and disease management practices in fruits and vegetables in South and Southeast Asia. This issue has already been addressed because the food safety issue has already been highlighted by the speaker, as well as the major crop limiting factor in fruit and vegetable has already mentioned this insect pest and disease are the important one. That's why my talk will be around insect pest and disease management in fruits and vegetables, basically comprising South and Southeast Asia. Okay, this is all about my presentation. I will be talking about global food security scenario and the use of pesticide use in globally and regional as well as local level, as well as I'll be talking about what IPM strategies we have been adopted in South and Southeast Asia, what is the future IPM in these countries, as well as what could be the way forward. That will be my presentation. If you see the global population we have right now is 7.5 billion, and we have been expected about 8.5 billion in 2010, 2030, and further increase in by 9.7 billion in 2015. That means we need a big food production. Okay, so this is a challenge of food production to meet the global food demand. There are two possible ways of increasing food production. One is we have to increase the food by area expansion, but this is not possible because we have limited land. And the other is definitely we have to modernize our agriculture system. This is agriculture intensifications. And what we regarding if you are focusing on the agriculture intensifications, then we have so many consequences we should face. One is disturbance to ecosystem service. There will be nutrient losses, habitat loss, soil erosion, depletion of the freshwater sources, pollution of waterways, biodiversity loss. These are the consequences of the agriculture intensification. And what okay, and overall, actually, what challenges we have in agriculture? Basically, the pesticide use is a big challenge, in basically in the least developed countries. Chemical fertilizers, because there is a massive use of chemical fertilizers in terms of producing vegetables and fruits. We actually another challenge is the reduced organic matter in soil. Natural enemies and pollinators are declining. This is the one of the driver of big production in vegetables and fruits. Basically, in seed production, pollinators is very important factor. Crop diversity loss. These are the actually the challenge in sustainable agriculture. If we are talking about sustainable agriculture. If we see the pesticide use in globally from 1990 to 2020, the pesticide use is increasing. The same trend we can see in the South Asia, including the other continent. Okay. If we talk about the continent-wise pesticide use, actually the South America, they use more pesticide, followed by Asia. Then North America and Europe. So everywhere the pesticide use is challenging issue. So even if you are talking about the by countries status, even low-income countries use more pesticide, and the use of pesticide they use haphazardly. That means that pesticide use has linked to the food system, that is linked to the human health, that is linked to the biodiversity. Even some least developed countries, they have also used the pesticide. And if we talk about what type of the pesticide is commonly used around the globe, basically herbicide is one of the important is a pesticide that use must. Then fungicide and bactericide, and followed by an insecticide. This is the overall type of pesticide used in the in global. Okay, If you are talking about the country-wise pesticide use, USA use more pesticides, followed by Brazil, then China, then Argentina, Canada. So there are these countries use a massive use of pesticide. If you are talking about the country-wise pesticide use. And if you're talking about the pesticide used in some countries, basically the India use more pesticide, followed by the Bangladesh and Pakistan, and Nepal is basically use not too much pesticide. We have around 65 metric ton per year. So this is comparatively very low pesticide use compared to other countries. So in era-wise, if we're talking about the pesticide use, basically massive use of pesticide, basically organochlorine pesticide use, starting of the pesticide use in agriculture started from 1939. Then the other pesticide, basically organochlorine basis pesticide, has been used around 1939 to 1949. If you are talking about the decade-wise, basically 1940 to 1970 is the use of the pesticide use era actually. So there are many effects of the pesticide. Basically, it has effect on the that has adversely effect on us, our living environment. Basically, that is effect on the human health. Basically, children's biodiversity. This is the effect of the pesticide use. Pesticide resistance is another challenge. Basically, the insect and disease resistance is another challenge because the same amount of pesticide that used before doesn't work now, because this is because of the resistance development against the pesticide. There is also the effect of the pesticide that has very short-term as well as long-term effect on human health. Basically, we have noted so many cancer-related issues because of the pesticide use. So it has a great impact on the human health as well. This is the turning point of pesticide was 1962 when the Raquel Carson from America, when she published one book that is Silent Spring. This is the turning point that book has well explained about the negative effect of pesticide to human health as well as biodiversity. This is the right point and starting the IPM, or integrated pest management. So this is a very important date, 1962. In 1967, actually, integrated pest management has been emerged. It has prioritized the integrated approach, not only the pesticide. Pesticide give the least priority. Before that, basically, the cultural, other mechanical, some other tools should give priority, and the pesticide get the last pesticide is the last resort. That is explained by the FAO. What actually the IPM strategy we have been adopting, or we should adopt actually, first we have to identify what is the real problem, what is the biotic problem in the field, what I should identify the pest, then monitor the field. That should be regular monitor. We need to regular monitor whether the pest is in the status of the economic damage or not. We have to identify the threshold. We are not thinking all the pests in one bucket. We have to think, because we have to identify what is the threshold level, because pest has a diverse biology, by diverse habitat, and nature of damage to the crops also be diverse. So we have to think the threshold level on individual basis of the pest. So, and what the best method of the control is suitable, we have to adopt. So what first priority given to the cultural, then mechanical, then other host plant resistance. We can use the biotechnological approach. And if those approach doesn't work, then that last is shown. We can prioritize the use of the soft pesticide. And finally, we have to evaluate whether this control measure does work or not. So we have to think, we have to do some research on those aspects for the effective management of the pest and disease. How to basically that has a I think threshold level should be identified. This is important because species, even individual species, has different threshold levels. So first, before starting any control measure, we have to adopt the threshold level. when should start to control, on what basis, on what population basis. So that should be the matter of the research, and that should be matter of the further developing the IPM protocol. So this is the step. There are so many methods that we have been adopting, giving the chemical pesticide as a last resort. We have cultural, we have a mechanical, we have physical. We can work on the biological, biotechnological, legal approach, and finally the pesticide. So if we are talking about the cultural, because this is the agroecological practice. So if we adopt, this is the locally available practices. If we adjust the time to plant, we can escape the pest. So this kind of research would need to be adopted, need to be do by the research organization as well as researcher. Then there are other cultural practices. So this is the important for reducing the pesticide. The actually various intercropping practices. Trap cropping is there. So the research in this regions basically we have very low. So we have to focus on that area. There are so many cultural practices still adopted by the farmers, but there is still, we need to do more research. Basically, for DBM is a very serious pest in the cabbage. If we plant the Indian mustard around in the perimeter of the field, and we can protect the cabbage plant, but the research is very low. So this is very locally adopted. We don't need any pesticide on that cultural methods. Similarly, if we are going to reduce the root knot nematode infestation in the field, basically cowpea or sesame we can intercrop, but the research is low. But still, the farmers, they have been adopting. Similarly, if we diversify the field, basically many categories of the pest, including the fungus, we can reduce. For example, aphids, whitefly, nematodes. This is the broad range of pesticide insect that affect many categories of the crops. So even if we diversify the field, this is one of the cultural approach of pest management. Field sanitation, this is the panacea for the control of the citrus fly, even cucumber fruit fly. But this research, such kind of research, we have very little or very low. Soil solarizations, we can that practice we can also adopt it to minimize the effect of the nematode. Biological control, there are so many.
Sorry, you only have 3 minutes left.
We have so many biocontrol agents, but the conservation is needed for them. We can conserve them by organic farming. We can conserve them by IPM, multiple cropping. There are other ecological approaches as well. Because if we diversify the field, that can provide the shelter, nectar, alternative food, and pollen to the pollinators. Then we can promote them. And if we promote the biocontrol agents in the field, and we can increase the population of the biocontrol agent, then automatically the control. We don't need pesticide in that case. I did one experiment in Nepal. Just we deploy one flowering plants against beside the radish field, and in that case we can significantly reduce the aphid population in radish. This is one of the habitat manipulation approach for the reduction of the pesticide and ecologically management of the pest. So many biocontrol activities are going on these regions. Actually, conservation biological control activities has been in practice. Trichogramma rearing is practiced. Ladybird for releasing aphids, Chrysophorella rearing, and even for the management of whitefly, Trichoderma for the fungus, various kind of fungus control, metarism. These are the biocontrol agent or biopesticide that we have been adopting. We have been using in southeast region. Mechanical, there are so many lures, traps that it is also options, but the access to the farmers is not enough. So we have to conduct so many researches on that area, and what are the lures and how many density of the lures we can establish in the field for the effective management. So this is the one area in the South Asia, but still so many practices we have been with. So many lures are there. still market, still we can get such kind of levers in the market. Resistant variety, this is one alternative. There are so many resistant varieties, but still research is lacking there. Microbial, many, even Nepal also working on production of the Metracim anisopli for the control of the soil pest. Even India, even in some other Bangladesh and some other countries, they have already biopesticide companies. So we can promote such kind of biopesticide in this region. Behavior changing that I have already explained. Botanical biopesticide, I think many communities in this region, they have already used botanical pesticide. They can locally prepare. They have been using for the management of the many categories of the pest. Soft chemicals, finally, we can encourage use of the pesticide, but that should be soft. That has less effect on the pesticide to the insect, basically the beneficial insect.
Just 1 minute
Overall
remain, please.
benefit, if we adopt the IPM, there are so many benefits we can get, but this issue has been realized very low. It has benefit on the pollinators. We can improve the water quality. We can minimize the residue in food and promote safe food production, improve human health, benefit to protect environment. And what is the future actually? Basically, we are looking for the sustainable intensifications. This is the one, the future of the IPM. There is a good scope in future. Demand of organic food is increasing. We can conduct such kind of research. Consumers are ready to pay premium price. Increasing research demand. Now the universities, students, as well as research station institution researchers, they have been working to identify what is the basic, what is the alternative for the pesticide. Demand to IPM tools is increasing now. Even if you are taking the example of Nepal, many agropests, they have supplying the IPM tools. So demand is increasing. Biopesticide companies are emerging. Agroecological practices have been adopted. Priority, even the priority in this region have give the priority for the policy, as well as even they give the priority the plan. Finally, one more slide. Next, please. No.
Thank you, Dr. Tiwari, to present nicely present the importance and current status of the insect pest and their control measure. So please give a big hand to Dr. Tiwari.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think I missed one slide.
Okay, so you just tell.
The very important slide.
What's that?
Can you? Okay.
Okay.
This is the way forward. Actually, the collaboration is on the research extension and interlinkage between universities needed in this region. A farmer center research is necessary to improve, to promote the IPM package. Regional priority for safe food production. Then experience sharing. Then this is the way forward. Easy access of IPM tools to farmers. Market for the IPM organic product. Biopesticide companies are give priority for them, and a regional policy to promote IPM. These are the way forward to promote the IPM practice.
Thank you very much. Actually, here we also doing the collaboration with UC Davis, then Horticulture Lab, Forward, Government Nepal, Bangladesh. So collaboration is always necessary. That is one of our SDG target also. So collaboration we need. You have mentioned several points for the research. I think our partner from UC Davis already pointed out that we need cultural practices. You have given least importance of chemical fertilizer. Actually, we need to reduce it, because all of us, we know the bad side of the chemical fertilizer, but we need to use it for the control of our safety, for the control of crop production. So we have to try to minimize as much as possible. In this field, we can take research, cultural practice, mechanical, biological control, then finally organic product. So I think we have several points come out from this presentation. Thank you, and be seated.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. So now, as we are running behind of time, this is now our session is feedback collection and discussion. We have 3 rapporteurs. I am assigning 3 rapporteurs for 3 group. Mr. Dhan, Mr. Dhan Dhan Bahadur Thapa, you will lead the group of current status, opportunities, constraints, and way forward for sustainable growth of vegetable production. This will be group number 1. Group number 2, Dr. Prakash Acharya, he will lead the group number 2, that is on vegetable seed production in vegetable seed production. And number 3, Dr. Smriti Kola. Okay, Smriti Kolapanta. She will lead the group 3, that is the insect pest management. As we are running behind of time, please, the rapporteur, you can start your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Narsrin, and also all the presenter for their nice presentation. And even for this session, we will divide in 3 different groups, and the list of the participant is listed over there. Can you please show the list of the participant? I know. Maybe we can just follow the list that we shared previously. And if you want to join like a next group according to your expertise and interests, you can feel free to do so. And I would like to request Dr. William Vance Bayard to come forward and kindly give the closing remarks for this technical session. And tomorrow we'll again join tomorrow technical session in the same venue and in the same hall. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. William Vance Bayard.
I can see everybody is already excited to wrap up the day. I appreciate the opportunity to hear all of your ideas and looking forward to hearing more in the future. It's been very dynamic, at least the group that I was in. Even though I don't understand half of the language that was going on, they were very generous to summarize the information for me. So looking forward to the future sessions with the enthusiasm and the dynamics that I've seen so far. Thank you. Who's number 2?
हेर्नुभयो होला सर्वे एउटा इन्भेस्टमेन्टको सर्वे छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ ल्यापटप छ जसको छ उले ल्याएर आउनु भन्छ छिटो
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow in session 5, we have the Innovation Network Survey for Innovation Lab for Horticulture. And I would like to request all the participants to bring the laptop because we are going to learn about some online survey tomorrow. And you can also do it from the mobile, but if you have the laptop, please, you can bring it tomorrow. And thank you and have a great good evening.